So it's the 19th of April 2023, about 5:30 p.m. UK time, and this is my positive take on tomorrow's solar eclipse. I've been studying astrology now for over 45 years. I picked up my first astrological book in 1977 when I was 21, and I've been actively working with it since 1980 and doing readings, writing the odd book, teaching has been my only source of income in the last 25 years. I know what I'm doing when it comes to astrology. And I want to rewrite the doctrine. I know this is going to upset a lot of astrologers out there. But I'm really hacked off with all the doom and gloom. I'm really hacked off with people looking at a chart and going, oh, you've got Mars square Neptune or Sun square Pluto, or this is really awful, blah, blah, blah. What I've realised over the decades, many decades, is that people who have easy charts, lots of nice trines and sextiles, easy placements, they have great lives. You know, they get the good jobs, they get lots of money, they get the good wife, the good husband, great kids, they get the good home, they make lots of money, they do very well for themselves. But they never become really happy. They never become content in themselves. They don't have to strive. Things happen for them. They get provided for. Whereas people who struggle, people with challenging charts, people with lots of squares and oppositions, they struggle, especially in the first 40 years of life. And they learn as they age, especially as they get past 40, they learn that it's not about the end result of the struggle, it's about being on the road, it's about the lessons you learn on the journey through life. And the people who have struggled over the course of their lives, they learn their lessons and they learn how to be content in and with themselves, and then they become happy. So, I've seen this so many times, I know it to be true. So, those people who are still caught up in, oh, but in order to be happy, I've got to have lots of money, or I've got to have a good relationship, or I've got to have everything I want, otherwise I won't be happy. Well, that's not going to happen, is it? You've got to find happiness within before you find it without. It's like with relationships. You can't have a good relationship with anyone else till you're first of all in a good relationship with yourself. I think that the more difficult aspects there are in a chart, the more people can grasp the challenges of those difficult aspects, and through working with the challenging side of this, turn it into positive, turn it into gifts. My basic philosophy here is that you're never given more than you can deal with in your chart. When you volunteered to come down here in the first place, and your chart shows your mission statement, why you actually chose to come here, then you're given these challenges, but you're also given the power to turn those challenges into gifts and to alchemize, to change lead into gold, to transform, to regenerate, to rebirth, to become more than you were, to evolve, hopefully at an accelerated rate. Therefore, I see the challenging aspects as gifts, hidden in dark blankets, if you like, but gifts nevertheless. Tomorrow's eclipse is a new moon. Yes, it is a new moon that is blocking the light of the sun. But another way of looking at this is that all of the sun's light and energy is going to be illuminating the dark side of the moon. And it's going to be focusing into some type of laser point that's going to come through the moon onto the earth. So it seems to me that this eclipse is like a homeopathic laser that's going to galvanise certain individuals and situations into becoming more than they could have been. There's a sense of upgrade here. Now, 2 weeks' time, there's another eclipse, an almost total eclipse of the moon. And this is going to be happening, about 25 minutes before astrological Beltane, before the sun will be at 15 degrees of Taurus. It's happening on the 5th of May, just before the eclipse, the coronation of King Charles III, of which more closer to the time. Although, big shout out. There is one astrologer, I don't have time for most other astrologers. They're all too love and light for me. But there's one out there who's got my total respect. We're not friends. We never met. Penny Thornton. She's great. She writes proper, down-to-earth, basic astrology, and it's good. So if you can get on her mailing list every week, she puts stuff out, and she's excellent. And she's particularly good with the stuff around the coronation. Whether the coronation happens or not is a moot point. We're getting close now. You don't crown a king immediately after two massive eclipses. You just don't. It's not doomed to failure. But seriously, it's pretty dark. It's pretty challenging. I see this eclipse tomorrow as an opportunity for a whole fresh start, a whole new beginning. And the fact that it's squaring Pluto at the very start of Aquarius, which I actually see as, I'm really got this positive thing around Pluto in Aquarius, much better than Pluto in Capricorn. I think it's going to be the start of a much greater true democracy. Not democracy in terms of political systems, but democracy in terms of people standing up for themselves. A kind of upgrade of individual human rights and a refusal to be controlled by the corporations, the newspapers, the politicians, the television stations, the large groups that influence us. I think that we're going to see an ever-increasing dichotomy between the people and the sheeple, or to use one of my favourites, the difference between human beings and humans being. And I truly think that this eclipse tomorrow is a fantastic trigger point. It's a chance for a real fresh start, a new beginning, an upgrade at an exponential level, an acceleration point, and a launch into a new way of thinking, a new way of dealing with things. I find it so synchronous that I've moved home into a much nicer environment around good people in a beautiful countryside just at the time of this eclipse. I didn't know it was going to happen until a few weeks ago, and it just, boom, happened. So I urge you tomorrow and today, tomorrow, the next day, and over the coming couple of weeks to actually not get caught up in all the doom and gloom, even though it's pretty messy out there, especially over Mercury retrograde, but instead to actually rise out of the morass of materialism, of greed and of fear, and to start asking yourself, what's really important? What truly has value and worth in your personal life? What do you truly aspire to? And how are you going to make it happen? And I suggest that where we are right now is a wonderful launch point. Make it happen. What have you got to lose? If it doesn't work, you just carry on being who you are. But if it does work, wow. Wow. What an upgrade of consciousness. What an upgrade of spirituality. And these are real things. This is not woo-woo. This is real. Okay, on that note, catch you later, world. Bye.